battle royale games are a dime a dozen these days, but what if you take parts of a battle royale game, so the parts like competing against other players, but then you throw in certain objectives as well as the survival aspect. Escape from Tarkov is a good example of this. Head out to gain loot, but you'll need to compete with both AI and enemy players at the same time whilst also attempting to escape the area. Recently, a new contender in a similar genre to that has popped up. The Hunt Showdown, as it's called, is a game being made by Crytek, but the vision for the game has changed dramatically from the initial idea. Originally, the game was being made by Crytek USA in Austin, and it was called Hunt Horrors of the Gilded Age, and guess what? It was a third-person, 4-player co-op game, so it was set in the same area but with a very different gameplay style to it. And it was actually first announced in 2014. Sadly, the USA studio was closed and development of the game transferred back to Frankfurt, the main Crytek studio. Now this studio is known for working on the Crysis games as well as Far Cry before that and the legendary CryEngine, a heritage of FPS games you could say in a certain respect. And with that the game was moved into a brand new direction and became an FPS game with a new vision and was then announced in May 2017. And I'm bringing this up now because we've got a lot more details about the game now, gameplay to show, and there's rumours that the alpha is going to be available to play very soon. But what is the game? Well, Showdown is a co-op monster hunter game set in 1895 Louisiana. I don't think there's many games that can say that they've been there and done that. You and your partner, whoever that may be, either a friend or someone that you've matchmaked with, are part of a secret hunting society that tracks and kills monsters. Sounds like a cool job, until you see the spider boss. No one wants anything to do with that. The idea is that you spawn into the map and you hunt monsters to gain your bounty whilst also trying to escape. The extra part is that other teams of players are also competing for the same bounties as you, so you're not just facing up against the AI monsters here, but also other humans. Make too much noise while taking down a monster and you could risk another team coming in and taking you down. Or likewise, you could hear gunfire in the distance and surprise another team of players and then steal their bounty. Stealth is the order of business here if you don't want to get surprised by other players. Now, if you finish a match, you get money and unlock both weapons and ranks. There isn't any customization of your character right now, but you do improve your rank from Cowboy all the way up to Manhunter. Sounds very scary. You start off with basic weapons that you can upgrade along the way, and if you die, you'll lose your weapon, but as long as they're unlocked, you can always buy them back. Now, the game is in pre-alpha currently, so a lot of this stuff is still work in progress. Visually, as you may expect, the game looks fantastic. Being developed by Crytek has the added benefit of access to the Crytek engine and they'll know how to use it best. And we all know that the CryEngine from previous games always makes stunning looking experiences. Showdown is currently being made for PC with console versions being considered down the line, but one thing I will say is that on the footage that Crytek have shown us so far, the game isn't exactly running smoothly. The frames per second looks terrible at times. Of course, as I've said, it is pre-alpha, so I don't think you can dwell on it too much, but it's noticeably running poorly, so I'm quite surprised that they're showing it off like that. On the flip side, you could look at it and say, well, hey, at least they're being honest. Maybe at the moment the game isn't optimized that well, but in the future that's something that they could focus on, but that should be very important. I have to say though that the lighting from these videos looks absolutely fantastic, and with you spending your time wading through the bushes and swamps at night, any little light can highlight either a monster or an enemy player.
Okay, I see.
So I would try to avoid them seeing you.
There. Okay, good. Let's go here. Good. Fast. There's dudes in front of us, and there's dogs to the right.
Take the dogs out first.
Do you watch the zombies then?
Yeah, I'll watch the zombies.
You got him. Just coming out. I'll take zombies.
We have a hive. He's coming.
Where's he
coming out.
Okay, do you have it?
Yeah. Oh my god.
Shoot it.
down, she's down. I'm bleeding. Hold on.
Quick. The other guys are still behind us.
Get going. There's a meathead.
On the leeches, it's coming. Get him. Away from me. He's after me. Cool, that was close. Alright, come on. Oh, I don't see if there's some leech here.
There's a few left, yeah.
Leech is on the floor. Let's just move in. Alright, man. Spider's gotta be in here. Seems to me a little bit far away. I go up the stairs. Or do you go up the stairs?
Okay, he's right here.
Oh, get him. I got someone hit.
Back corner.
Where?
He just came down
I
to
saw
you.
him.
Where did he go?
Oh, it's one on me. He's at me.
Okay, he ran.
Dude, I'm dying here.
Okay, he's killing in the back corner. Again.
I don't see him at all.
Back corner.
Get him. Shoot.
Dead, he's
Got
dead.
him. Perfect.
Cool. Alright, get banishing.
Starting to banish. Okay. Check the map.
Just checking out all the entrances are shut.
Alright. Everybody will see where we are now. We're gonna get here.
Dogs barking. There's a guy coming in the southwest entrance.
Is that zombies or dudes?
That's dudes. They're definitely dudes. I put the floodlights on.
I see everything.
Okay. They're engaging zombies right now. I don't know if they can actually see me.
Where are you?
I'm out on the balcony. He's shooting back. I think there's two teams, by the way.
There's a zombie in here. I'm dead. You had to revive me.
I'm coming. Where are you? Up?
I'm up at the bottom. Quick. There was a... I think I killed a zombie, I'm not sure.
Okay, there was a guy coming in from my side.
I need to banish. I'm almost gone here.
I see him. He's in the center. He's dead. One dead. There's one more.
Okay, banishing is almost done.
We are ready to move in 1 second. Come here, my little... Try to get his friend up.
Okay, he's in hell.
Let's go. You got it?
I gotta pick up the bounty.
Alright, let's go.
There's a player. You shoot me, kill him.
He's down.
Quick, the other guys are still behind us.
Alright, let's get going.
Hey, somebody shoots at us.
Throw a concertina bomb off.
Anything you got left? They're still behind us.
Anything you got left.
I got a...
Just go. Run.
Okay, cool. There's some exit points here.
I got 3 rounds left.
There's an exit point here. Come on.
So what sort of gear and weapons will we be using? Well, each hunter can carry 1 double-handed weapon, 1 single-handed weapon, 3 tools and 3 consumables. How you choose to equip yourself is up to you. Weapons include the Sparks LRR, which is a rifle designed for big game hunting. It can apparently take down a buffalo, so ideal for large spiders then, it would seem. There's also the Caldwell Rival 78 hand cannon, which is a sawed-off shotgun. The Spectre 1882, which is a very large bottom-loading shotgun. And then the Dolch 96 Precision, a German engineer's pistol, think C96. That's just a small handful of the available weapons. You can also have fuse bombs, concertina bombs, fire bombs, as well as your standard first aid kits and other medical supplies. You'll get access to a lantern too, but like we mentioned before, you better be careful when using it, as any sort of light in the darkness can alert people and AI to your position, but sometimes you have no choice. Arguably your best tool for taking down the smaller monsters, or zombies if you like, is your knife. If you can take them down without making any sound or using any ammo, then that's your best bet. The weapons in Hunt Showdown are a blend between real life weapons. They even mention the Say Rigotti for you Battlefield fans out there. In fact, because of the era, there are a lot of familiar weapons as a Battlefield 1 player. Then of course you've got the addition of completely fictional made up weapons too. So based on what we've seen so far from from the gameplay and the previews, my main concern with any game like this is longevity. What will keep players coming back? There has to be plenty of variation in the monsters, in the environments, in the weapons, and also in the end game, so to speak. I know that Escape from Tarkov is very popular right now, and some players love the tense nature of the game. So I see something like this also potentially being very popular if the execution is correct. The question is, what does the game need to keep players coming back to play day after day? I suppose if the hunting of monsters is dynamic enough and challenging enough, then that itself could be plenty. I still remember Evolve, of course. Tons of hype for that game. I loved playing it at preview events, and there was such a huge push around that game when it was in beta, and I understand that Hunt Showdown is vastly different from that game, but the problem with Evolve is that there wasn't enough overall content there, and the core gameplay element was taking down the monsters, and players quickly learned the best ways to take out the monsters and how to avoid them, and the game became quite boring. As long as the challenge and variation is here, then I think this game could be very fun with friends. So that's a quick look at Hunt Showdown. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and as I said, there are rumours that the alpha will be available to play very soon, so hopefully I can get some gameplay myself with some live commentary and first impressions. If you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, a thumbs down. Subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one.